everybody? It's Tevin Harris. This is Real Talk Sportz, as you know, episode 2. Hey, my man Justin's with me. Go ahead and introduce yourself, Justin.
My name is Justin Cheeks. I'm a senior here at George Mason in the sport management major.
Y'all hear that, ladies? All right, man. All right, but so y'all know, Justin, how we do things. We get right into it here at Real Talk Sportz. So I wanted to talk to you about sports and politics. I want to talk to you about your team, Houston Rockets, and do you follow football too? Houston Texans?
Yeah, I follow the Texans.
You are the Texans? So you're from Houston, right?
Yeah, I was born in Houston. Yeah.
All right, that's bad. Do you frequent back there, going back and forth?
I haven't been since I moved to DC. So.
All right. I mean, DC be if you like DC, I understand.
I love DC. I love.
You love DC?
I love DC.
So do Washington football fans try to make you like switch? Like where?
I mean,
what's y'all?
I mean, growing up, all my family on my mom's side, Redskins fans.
Okay.
On my family on my dad's side, they're like a mix.
Okay.
It's like Skins fans and then some Saints fans.
Okay.
So they never really tried to sway me one way or the other, but
okay.
I just kind of picked them on my own.
Okay.
I was born there.
Dope. How you feel about the young boy Deshaun Watson?
I like him. The first game that he started against the Bengals, I believe, last Thursday. Last Thursday.
Last
2 Thursdays.
Yeah, because they played the Patriots.
Yeah. I thought he didn't go through his progressions.
Mm-hmm.
He kind of just looked at his first option. Then if it wasn't there, he just looked to scramble.
Well, rookie quarterbacks tend
to do. Yeah, since he has the feet to scramble, he can do that.
Right, and he got a star wide receiver, DeAndre Hopkins. So
and then last week against the Patriots, he
showed me some things, right? He showed me some things.
I was like, okay, it's a franchise quarterback right here. So yeah, I think he's gonna just get better each and every game. So I think we'll be in good shape.
I'm always cautious about like the black quarterback always having enough because, like for Cam, like I was talking about Cam Newton, he's in a situation where the team just came from a Super Bowl the year prior. Then this past year, so 2 years ago they went to the Super Bowl. This year prior, they didn't even make the playoffs.
Yeah.
And now this year it looks like they probably not gonna make the playoffs. I don't know. It's up in the air.
Yeah.
But the team gave him a running back, but his wide receiver is now, this is like his second year with injury. Calvin Benjamin, he's dealing with his knee injury. The other wide receivers that he has, Calvin Benjamin has been the only wide receiver he's had that's made a Pro Bowl. So, I mean, the talent around him outside of the defense is like, okay, what else is it but Cam Newton? So I'm always leery about that. Do you think that the Texans are going to do, especially Bill O'Brien? He's a little interesting of a coach to me. Do you think he's going to keep putting that talent around him, like, to be like, all right, because I know y'all cut Jalen Strong, so, like, what else is going to be around him besides DeAndre and Deshaun?
Yeah, I mean, we have some talent around him. It's just, Will Fuller, we drafted him last year in the first round. He got injured.
Nice. He got hurt.
Yeah.
So he's out for the season?
No, he's coming back this Sunday.
Okay, great, great.
Yeah, he's a deep threat. We have Lamar Miller running back.
Nice.
He does his thing.
Mm-hmm.
We drafted Foreman in the late round.
Yeah, I think third, fourth.
Yeah, third,
something
fourth.
Like that.
Yeah, he's solid too. It's just the tight end that's always been an issue since Owen Daniels left like 5 years ago. The tight end.
What you know about Owen Daniels?
Come on now, a tight end right there. But DeAndre Hopkins gonna do his thing. It's basically the O line. I have like the weapons he has. I think he has the weapons to succeed. It's just the O line is bad right now.
Yeah.
Dwayne Brown is holding out. He's our best left tackle. He's the best offensive lineman we ever probably had.
Probably almost the league, honestly, because there's not a lot of great left tackles in the league.
Yeah, he's best. He's our best offensive lineman in team history. So he's holding out with a contract issue. So that's just basically. I just want to know if we can protect him, then he should be able to succeed.
I agree. Let's try to veer to a little bit more serious topic.
Okay.
So talking about African Americans, the African American quarterback. I want to talk about this situation with politics and sports. We know what's the rhetoric and everything that's going on for like hashing it out, but I do want to talk about your concept of how sports and politics are basically now more than ever kind of overlapping each other. The comments by the 45th president with calling people SOBs and things like that. Do you, since you've been a sports fan and since you started to follow, football, basketball, Houston Rockets fan, since you started to follow sports, you're like, where's that? Where do you? When have you sat back and you were like, dang, like I didn't know sports and politics, like was like literally like right here, like hand in hand.
I didn't pay attention to it until recently. As I'm, a college student, more conscious about issues that go on in the country. I think when Trayvon Martin passed, you remember the Miami Heat?
Yeah,
they all wore hoodies.
With the hoodies,
yeah.
Right.
And I was like, okay, LeBron and D-Wade, I think they were the leaders to, implement that on the team. I think that's when I, finally realized, like, okay, they intertwine all the time.
Exactly.
And then recently with the kneeling of Colin Kaepernick, then all the unity showings that they had last week. It just makes you realize that it's always going to be, they're always going to go hand in hand, politics and sports.
I agree. Where do you stand for like your team, like for the Houston Texans? I don't know exactly what they did. I know their owner is Bob McNair, right?
He's a Trump supporter.
Yeah, right. How do you feel as like African American when you got, all right, if you support Kaepernick, but you got guys, like Mr. McNair giving money out. We talked about Jerry Jones off topic, but it's like where do you as a fan are like, I don't know if I'm comfortable with this. This not the anthem because it's not really about that. It's about like what's going on in our communities. Where are you like, man, I don't know if these are the dudes really like, are they really consciously thinking about what's going on in my community, or are they thinking about their pocketbooks?
Yeah, just protecting money.
Just protecting money.
Like when they released the list of the owners who gave money to Trump, I wasn't shocked because it's Houston, Texas. It's Texas.
It's Texas.
It's Texas, Bob in there. He has a lot of money, so it's kind of weird to be honest. The owner, he supports the president, but I've been rooting for that team my whole life, so it's kind of like I can't really just separate myself that easily just because the owner, supports something that a lot of people have problems with. So that's how I stand on it. It's kind of hard to just
I feel it.
Step away.
The NBA, there are rules that you have to stand for the national anthem, which is why normally people see like it's a bigger issue for the NFL than it is for the NBA because again they're made to stand following some of the protests that they used to have with players. In the NFL, it's been, I was talking about this with my class today, sports diplomacy class. I'm sorry, sports diplomacy. In the NFL, they got money handed to them from the military. The United States Defense Department gave the NFL money, about $5-10 million, whatever, to promote military. Yeah. And so from that, 2009, the NFL has started to implement the national anthem. And you see, like with breast cancer awareness, they have the pink, all the pink stuff. And it's the same thing for the military. Like you realize that they have the fatigues and stuff, and then they have certain people who have came back, like private sergeants, whatever, who are coming back, and they have this big moment on the field where I haven't seen, my dad or my mom forever, and they have that moment on the field where they run into each other's arms. It's a great moment, but it's basically politically, funded. Where do you see that I guess where it resonates for you, where it's like politics has always been there? Do people just not pay attention to it? Do people not really want to touch it? Like you said earlier with the Texans, like it's hard for you to separate that. Like you're still a fan, you're just not a fan of the owner, but he owns the team. So like where does all that kind of play into? I know it's a long answer or long question, but like where does that all play into you?
Yeah, it's like it's different. I think this is the biggest, all my life, I think this is the biggest political sports thing that has been going on.
Me too.
Recently. So it's kind of like you just sit back and watch. It's like, wow. You get to see everyone's true colors, like even fans, players, owners, commentators. It's funny. You see what they really believe in, and they can't really separate sport or politics like
right.
that. So,
Nobody can like hide from it no more,
yeah,
right?
You can't really hide from it.
No, you can't. So let's try to calm down a little bit. Let's talk about the Rockets.
Okay.
So Chris Paul got traded over the summer. Chris Paul was a former player for the Los Angeles Clippers, who had their own racist problems, but you know, he out the league now. But so the Clippers traded Chris Paul to the Houston Rockets for some picks and some, you know, a lot of players. Patrick Beverly is one of those, you know, guys. He's a dog.
Right,
you know, that's a
player in
dog.
the league right there.
I agree. Like he's a dog. He's a defensive player. Doesn't get a lot of credit for what he does, but like what he does is very vital, especially for James Harden, who is a big offensive player, who's not really a defensive dude.
He can play.
He can play a little bit. Like he'll get a steal or two,
yeah.
but like that's not what he. That's not what they pay him to do. Y'all pay him what, $200 million. He got a new contract.
Yeah.
$200-something million to play offense, basically. Where you think that team stacks up against, like, you know, teams like Oklahoma City? My man Cruz behind the camera. He's an OKC fan. Like, tell us where you think were the Warriors, OKC, Houston Rockets, San Antonio Spurs is still there. Memphis, I think they'll be towards the bottom of the conference this year.
Timberwolves got better.
The Timberwolves got a lot better. They got Jimmy Butler. The Utah Jazz, they lost Gordon Hayward, but they still were a playoff team. Where do you see y'all fitting in? Phoenix Suns too. Where y'all see y'all fitting in?
You know, definitely the Warriors at the top.
Yeah.
Because it's just so loaded. And then, you know, after that, it's like Spurs, Rockets, OKC. I mean, OKC, they got way better. You know, adding Melo, Paul George, but then you look at the bench, it's like
exactly. Like they got a reigning MVP.
Yeah.
They got a scoring champion in Melo, and then they got an all-star. But then, like, what else, right? Like,
I mean, but still, like, showing, you know, what the Warriors did, they don't have like many great guys on the bench, but,
right.
You know, they still contribute.
Exactly.
So maybe that happened with OKC. You know, you never know. You know, they had Patrick Patterson off the bench this year. Raymond Felton, he's gonna be playing too. So, you know, they should be solid. But I think it goes Warriors, and then Rockets, and then
shocker.
I had to stick with my team.
Go ahead, Raph. Can y'all beat the Warriors? If it came down to 7 games,
put my bias aside. No.
All right.
No.
Can you?
We can go to 6 with them.
What team in the West or in the East? What team in? I'll just stick with the West first. What team in the West do you think? You look at them and you're like, all right, on paper, right now before games get played, I think they could get a Warriors a run.
I mean, it's those 3 teams right there: the Spurs, Rockets, and OKC. Those are the 3 teams that I can see them giving competition. You know, the Timberwolves, they've gotten better too. With Jimmy Butler, Andrew Wiggins, you know, they have Karl Anthony Towns too.
Yeah, they got Cat.
So, and they added Jeff Teague at points. So,
yeah, they did.
So, know, you never know. They haven't played together, so we haven't seen them yet, so you never know. But
and they're young too.
Yeah, they're young, so they have a lot of learning to do. Never made the playoffs.
Never been. So
it's those 3 teams right there: Rockets, Thunder, Spurs, the best teams right there.
I like it. Let's finish off on a serious note. I wanted to go back a little bit to the sports and politics. It was about Jerry Jones. Like I was, you know, we talked about this a little bit. So for all you that don't know, Monday night, I believe just this past Monday night, the Dallas Cowboys had a game against the Arizona Cardinals. Of course, the game is televised. It's Monday Night Football. And the Dallas Cowboys took that opportunity, per the request of Jerry Jones, to take a knee before the national anthem was played. Now, that's not a problem, you know, if, you know, they don't want to make it a political issue, so they want to do it before the game as a team. Fine, but then Jerry Jones basically required or not required the team to stand for the national anthem because they took the knee before the national anthem was played. And then he makes comments about how Colin Kaepernick is not in the league because of what he can't provide to the team. But you just took a knee, the same thing Colin Kaepernick did, and you kind of just I don't understand what was up with that. To me personally, I'm just gonna say be honest with you how I felt about it. I thought it was just a mockery of what Colin Kaepernick did. I thought it was a mockery of the issues of what we have. And I thought it didn't do anything, but really that moment right there, I was like, okay, owners are taking this opportunity to be like, all right, we don't want to make the players mad by not saying nothing because most of them are black, but we don't also want to alienate the fans because they put a lot of money in our pockets. Yeah. So we're going to look together on this, but most of y'all still gave money to the 45th president to, do what he does. So basically it's like you got no problems giving the guy money when he's talking about other people, but when he attacks y'all, it's like, oh, no, lock arms. We're together. We're here. I don't know how you feel.
Yeah, I definitely thought this past weekend was, I didn't quite understand.
It looked shady, right? It
looked funny, players locked arms in unity because someone called them SOB. And the owners, I guess they came out with the players because, the president said you should fire players if they don't stand for the national anthem.
Or suspend.
Fire or suspend.
Or suspend.
I mean, it's like really just because somebody said that, you're going to do all this. But
exactly.
Take away from, what Kaepernick did. He's dealing for actual cause. Not because someone called him a name.
Exactly. Like the players are just now like, oh, we need to be together on this. But your brother literally took a knee for your other brothers and sisters, and y'all was like, no, it's about the anthem.
Yeah. And like you can stand for the anthem, you can sit for the anthem. I mean, I'm not really, that into it. So I mean, people at home, do you stand for the anthem when you watch a game?
Actually, I'm glad you asked me that because recently I was at a game for the volleyball team, ladies volleyball here at Mason. And they played the national anthem, and I sat down. I didn't stand. Like, to me, I'd be a hypocrite if I did, because I'm sitting here talking on my show about how I don't, necessarily agree, especially with the 45th. I don't even like naming his name. So, black people, it seems like, because psychologically we've had so much happen with slavery, we haven't gotten past psychologically those effects. It was a whole concept of slavery that psychologically people wouldn't be able to just get over.
Yeah.
So I think that has played a huge part into where people's psyche is, into even today, where you got players not being able to identify with what Colin Kaepernick is talking about. Psychologically, I feel like they just don't get it, or some do, and the money is just too good for them. So I'm not going to just talk about ownership. The players need to do a way better job of not being so, someone called me a SOB, now I gotta stand up. Well, I mean, bro, Tamir Rice, Sandra Bland,
exactly.
Trayvon. So it all ties into it. But that's what I just wanted to ask you. Like, psychologically, do you think players just aren't connected like that?
I mean, I definitely think they're conscious of what goes on. I just think they weigh job security and then politics.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of these NFL players don't make, as much as a quarterback will make, like a Tom Brady.
True.
Like, he can stand up for something and then, it really won't hurt his pockets. But, another player, say like you're a third string defensive back or something like that, he may stand up for something and then he'd be cut the next day.
Exactly.
So, and the contracts aren't guaranteed in the NFL, so, you can't really, can't really take anything for granted. So I think that's what goes on in a player's head has been going on the past, year and a half, I think.
Yeah.
But definitely just, I just thought this past week was just weird. Kaepernick, he kneeled for something, and then the media just spent it into, the anthem, military disrespect the anthem.
Right.
But he's just trying to bring cause to something. The injustice of people of color and black people, in the nation. So, that's just how I feel about it, the media is powerful, man.
The media is huge.
Powerful.
It's interesting. It's something that me personally, I felt like needed to be addressed, specifically with Real Talk Sportz. We needed to talk about this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad I had you to talk to about this, bro. So on a lighter note, let's phase out to who you got for the Super Bowl, bro? You think your Texans gonna take that ring?
I mean, put my bias aside right now, no.
Do you think they can beat the Patriots?
Yes. I think last week we had a lot of slip ups.
I'd fire your safety. I honestly, bro, because y'all should have won the game and the safety basically blew.
You know, we never ever beat the Patriots in franchise history.
I didn't know that.
That's the only team I believe that we've never ever beaten.
That's wild.
And it just gets to me, man. But you know, the Patriots definitely look sharp. Who else in the AFC?
The Steelers kind of.
Chiefs look.
The
good.
Chiefs look tough.
The Chiefs
look tough.
I like that running back.
Shout out Andy.
Yeah, but I think the Chiefs and the Patriots are the front runners right now.
Okay.
For the NFC, just stick with A-Rod and the Packers, I guess.
Yeah, basically. I used to be an Eagle fan. I don't know. The Eagles always do this too. They'll set you up and they will break your heart, bro. Mm-hmm. They are one of those franchises. They will set you up quick. But yeah, it was great talking to you, bro.
No problem.
Thank you, man. I definitely appreciate you. Any shout out before we go? You know, say hi, mom.
Oh yeah, hi, mom. It's my brother's birthday today.
Hey, happy birthday. Let people know what's up.
Conrad, he's in California right now, turning 25 today. So yeah, pretty big.
Hey, dude. Hey, happy birthday, bro. This is Real Talk Sportz. We appreciate everybody watching. Appreciate Cruz. Appreciate Angelique. Appreciate Mason Cable Network. Appreciate Justin for coming out. And, you know, everybody just stay strong, y'all. Stay strong. We got a long way to go. This is Real Talk Sportz. Peace.